Greetings, fiendish gamers and you bizarre ponderers out there. Ever wonder where Doom's Cacodemon stands among the legends of video game nightmares? Dive deep with us into the underworld as we examine the spiciest of meatballs. And by the time we wrap up, we'll be placing this iconic creature on our grand monster tier list, only after having you served with a full breakdown and scoring on its design, lore, powers and abilities, influence, and potential. So whether you're a Doom diehard or just a fan of all things monstrous, prepare to be both enlightened and entertained. Design. Navigating through the various evolutions of the Cacodemon, we're going to base today's judgment by considering all its renditions, averaging them out for a comprehensive score. As D&D proudly flaunts its beholder, Doom parades its Cacodemon. One would assume this fiend from the bowels of hell was inspired by the beholder, but surprisingly, there is another cycloptic brute of that same universe that actually inspired this rather well-rounded demon. I'm just kidding. We'll find out soon enough where its equilibrium stands. The Cacodemon actually drew its diabolical inspiration from the Astral Dreadnought, a relic of first edition's Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Manual of Planes, which now that you know this, you can never unsee it. Just remove the body and voila! Appearing as a terrifying love child of a tomato and a piranha, it is a beast that floats in defiance of gravity, is quite large and has a spherical form that is a testament to the horrors of the deep down under. Bathed in the blood of its victims, its red and pink hues evoke memories of other sinister red beasts of the times. Legends like the hordes of this excellent old game, or the squigs of Warhammer. Its gaping maw, a cavernous blue void packed with fangs that rival the cutting edge of Doomslayer's chainsaw. And that eye, oh, that solitary wicked green orb, hunting and always watching. The original, in its devilish design finesse, showcased two vents on its back. An anatomy lesson from hell, perhaps? Realism certainly was something considered. The corridors of damnation buzzed when it inspired the dreaded pain elemental. But beware, for even Doom 64 had seemingly mistaken the two. But the first Doom Cacodemon was nothing less than a sly nod to D&D, a dastardly good form of flattery. Doom 3 released its own original version, even throwing in a neck portion as a tip of the hat to the original Dreadnought. A valiant effort indeed, but still it lacked the malevolent magnetism of the true Cacodemon. Come 2016, the beast was tastefully reborn in quality graphics with its eye devoid of a pupil, an eeriness I appreciate. And then similar, but even more redefined, came Doom Eternal's Cacodemon, with limbs retained and pupil. Oh, it returns in its former glory, staring into your very essence. But brace yourselves for the mouth. Yes, that cavern of cosmic horror. They've tweaked it just so, taking it from mere comedic flesh gobbler to something truly out of the abyss. Grotesque? Yes. Alien? Absolutely, and the quality, my freaky beings, is so clean it's sinful. So pristine you could almost see your damned reflection in it, if you dared to look, that is. Among the screams and torments weighing its many guises, I condemn the Cacodemon to a 7 out of 10. Its recent avatars whisper tales of glory, but shadows of its past play tricks. Yet in the heart of darkness, I confess, I am entranced. Should any brave soul yearn for a score on one of the particular incarnations here, dare to voice your desire below this video. Lore, that tantalizing tapestry that gives life, or in this case, eternal damnation, to our ghastly subject. While Cacodemons float through the various chapters of the Doom universe, from the original dark ages of 1993 when floppy disks were our steeds, to the high-definition hellscape of Doom Eternal 2020. They remain curiously silent on their life story, as if hell itself put them under a gag order. Or there just isn't much more to them than just being pumped out from the lava explosions far, far below. In the fiery realms, they sit not on the top throne. No, they are not the overlords of hellish hierarchy, but rather, let's say, mid-level lurkers of malice. Functionally airborne, they serve a devilish role in hell's strategy, solitary or in packs, offering aerial torment, firing electrified globules of sheer pain from above. Their single piercing green eye is its primary organ of perception, marking its targets usually for an incandescent death or to be gobbled up whole with its enormous jaws. These floating terrors, though, just don't have the courtesy of personality, unless you consider sadistic aggression a personality trait. The simplicity of evil. You'd think a creature from hell would have more narrative gravitas, but as of now, they're essentially just flying artillery. Their backstory remains as weak as their underbellies. And yes, aim there if you see one up close and impersonal. Given their enigmatic nature and rather functional role in Hell's army, I would, with a demonic chuckle, rate them at a modest 3 out of 10 for lore. The mysteries of this underlying furnace remain ever elusive, but one can always hope for future revelations. And onward to the next fiendish category, powers and abilities. The downright diabolical talents this floaty fiend possesses. As if levitating weren't enough to give you crippling anxiety, it spews those searing energy orbs. And don't be fooled by its grotesque beauty. Should you dare to get too cozy, it hisses and growls like an underworld tabby, threatening to make a snack out of you with its chompers. As for its report card, let's just say I've been swayed at the last minute to award this hellborn balloon a solid 5 out of 10. Sure, it may not have an extensive resume of dark deeds, but its key talents in flight, well, more so hovering, and long-range loogies, energy balls, are nothing to laugh at. Unless, of course, you enjoy the taste of Hellshock, and thereafter, Hellfire. Over and over again. Now we descend into the caverns of influence, a place where even demons can achieve a sort of immortality. Let's dissect the sprawling impact of our toothy friend the Cacodemon, shall we? This beast is not just another demonic face in the crowd. It's the poster child for Doom's blistering lineup, standing as a stalwart figure in a game that itself revolutionized first-person shooters. The Cacodemon has carved its bulbous shape into the annals of gaming history. Oh, the triumph of capitalism. Our floating fiend has been immortalized in countless forms of merchandise, from cuddly plushies to vinyl collectibles. Who says you can't find comfort in the arms of a demon, or in the mouth of one? It has been so impactful as a specific enemy type that it seems our monstrous muse had given birth to a new generation of levitating menaces in other titles. While it's hard to trace the DNA directly, one can't help but see the Cacodemon's influence in modern gaming's menagerie of flying antagonists. So having built upon a rather quick, obvious inspiration to becoming one of the most popular faces of the Doom franchise, while keeping true to its nature along the way, and for staying as relevant as it has to this day, the Cacodemon deserves a 6 out of 10 in the influence archives. As for the potential of the Cacodemon, a creature whose very name implies mischief and mayhem, what delightful possibilities there may be. The Doom saga has grown to unholy proportions, particularly with the recent entries, diving deep into the mysteries of hell itself and the Doomslayer's blood-soaked lineage. The Cacodemon may yet evolve to serve some nefarious role in this expanding landscape. Yet let's not deceive ourselves. Our beloved Caconut is but a minion in the demon ranks. It may leer menacingly with that single malignant eye, but it's far from being Hell's master schemer. Though with all the nature behind being a demon, it can easily be placed in a variety of worlds and time frames, from futuristic dystopia to haunting ancient catacombs. Might it be the product of some diabolical ritual, or perhaps a failed experiment in demonology? The potential narratives are as numerous as the Cacodemon's horns, but let's admit, our creature isn't known for its Shakespearean complexity, and therefore within cameos in other dimensions of pop culture, our spherical terror would fit quite snugly. After all, who wouldn't want to see that fearsome grin make a surprise appearance in a gaming movie, other first-person shooters, or comics? So dare we dream of more for our sizzling hot potato of torture. Would expansions upon it please? I'd say there's a glimmer. Mind you, not a fancy mystical one, but rather a smelly repulsive one of potential. Though perhaps I'm being a smidge too generous. But then again, what's life without a little crackling singe of optimism? I'd give it a maybe. And before we tally up our scores using the most powerful computer systems unavailable, I call upon this moment to honor those who've dared to offer patronage to the dark arts of this so-called content creator. Thank ye, Icthydemons. Your support is what keeps the hellfires aflame. And our answer has arrived. Just where does the Cacodemon stand among all creatures light and dark? The Cacodemon settles comfortably in the D tier. Being a rather straightforward demonic entity, its abilities along with intellect are quite limited and nestled in a lack of enveloping supportive lore, leaving nothing intriguing enough to even create the desire of pursuing more, well, other than the purpose of those backside vents. One of its greatest qualities, though, is the exceptional artistry that has gone into its redesigns, endearing it to gamers who can't seem to get enough of this captivating monster. So remember, in the vast realms of the digital playing field, especially one hot enough to melt your CPU, even a pawn can leave a lasting impression. I found the Cacodemon to be an excellent introduction as a flying opponent with shooting ability. Looking onward doesn't shed much light upon it, being that it's such a small part of the grandness of hell and its spawns. The colors and designs were wonderful and memorable that would still remain iconic if unchanged, though would age quickly and sink into nostalgia territory. Therefore, revamps of the design help to refresh its being and develop a greater reputation. All in all, an obstacle to a hero that makes the devil smile, but still too shallow for a bigger story unless, of course, the extremes of creativity abound. Well, I say we've scourged this one enough, haven't we, folks? Although, as a final note, I would just love to watch it feed. Now, did you know the term Cacodemon hails from the ancient corridors of classical mythology? It signifies a bad or evil spirit or demon. Indeed, it's quite apt that a being with such a name would sow chaos and terror in Satan's lair. By the way, here's a great monstrosity with great etymology as well that has wreaked its own fair share of havoc within a sci-fi themed futuristic scene. Let's explore the details and final tier level of this exquisite black anomaly known as the Stranger Form, or alien-shaped thing, or
the Xenomorph.
See you in the jiffy,
Monstrous.